everybody. Welcome
Yeah.
to our brew series part. This is Daisy, as you guys have heard on the audio.
Yes.
The brew series is more like a one-on-one interview. I've been asking Daisy like forever. I'm like, come on, we gotta do this interview. I think it'll be fun. But yeah, Daisy, I kind of want to talk about like your life as a social media manager and also
Mhm.
like a single mom and everything. And I kind of wanted like to get all the details from you.
Yeah.
Um, but overall, like, what do you think about like social media in general?
I think I'm like 50-50 on it because I can
Hmm.
totally see the benefits on it, like as a business and as a whole. But like also working behind the scenes, it makes you realize how influential it is, like whether you believe it or not.
Yeah.
People pay big money to get your eyeballs to look at something, and it's like I feel like we need more privacy. And then, but at the same time, it makes it hard because like they put value into you like exposing yourself or like you sharing your information. But at the
Yeah.
same time, like as you're sharing information, you're building like a community of people that understand you too. So it's like there's pros and cons to everything, and you kind of have to like pick the side that you're on. Like as long as you're not doing anything malicious or like using it for the wrong ways,
Yeah.
um, I think social media could be very good, but there's not everybody has that mentality. So it's kind of like scary because you never know like what part somebody might end up in, even if
Yeah.
by accident.
I've been kind of curious, like, what made you decide, like, what was your journey into like the world of social
Social media.
media?
It was it started with marketing because I was working as a customer service rep at this company that had just like they're rooted in Mexico, but then they
Hmm.
transferred over here to the United States. And I got hired as a customer service rep, and I was going to TWU for marketing at the time. And I was like, hey, if you guys ever decide to open up a marketing branch, like I'd love to be a part of it. Because that's what I'm studying, right?
Hmm.
And then like truly, I didn't really know what marketing entailed. I just knew that it was like one of the things that business like made a lot of money in. Like I was like, what's the top degree that you can get that has like that makes the most
Yeah.
money and stuff? And one of them was marketing, so I was like, okay, like I'll do that.
Yeah.
And um and so then um they ended up like a year and a half later opening marketing, and they got a marketing manager, and they're like, hey, do you want to be the assistant? And then I was like, duh. So
Yes.
yeah, and I've always liked writing. Like, I used to have a blog, and at the
Yeah.
time they're like, can you write our blogs? And I was like, yeah, for sure. And so I started writing like fashion blogs, and then they decided to get an Instagram. And so I started kind of like helping with that.
Mhm.
Um, but along that, I ended up getting pregnant. And then at first I really thought that I was going to like I don't know what I thought because I never like I didn't think that I was going to be into mothering as much as I like ended up being.
Yeah.
So after I had my daughter, I had maternity leave for like 3 months, and I loved being with my daughter. Like she would sleep on my chest every night. Like it was like we're literally like cheekless. Like we're together all
Yeah.
the time. And I was like, fuck, like I don't want to leave my daughter. Like I want like I preferred being with my daughter over work.
Mhm.
And one of my coworkers tagged me in like this group called Dallas Girl Gang for somebody that was like hiring like part-time and remote work for a social media manager, and it was stuff that I do. And so I connected with the lady that shared it, and she hired me to do like social media freelance. And
Uh,
at the time, she paid $20 an hour, and which was pretty good because I was putting in a few hours. But then she lowered it to $150 per client, and I was like this doesn't feel very good. And then
yeah.
I got like a couple months of experience in it, And then at the time I was working full time, and I had like my daughter. So like I was slacking on her work anyway. Because it wasn't like a priority. And then at that point I was like, well, I rather look up people for myself. Like if she's charging $1,000 a month and only paying me $150, like why shouldn't I be the one getting paid $1,000? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So then that's when I started looking for clients freelance. And I was able to find like a few through Upwork, and that's kind of, oh yeah. And then word of mouth. Oh yeah, I ended up quitting my job. And I actually stuck with her until I quit a little bit after I quit my job, just so I could have some income. And after that, like, I just became a stay-at-home mom. But then when I noticed things like I wasn't able to get stuff, like money was short, right? So I was like, I should get back into social media management. And so I made an Upwork account and I started actively using it again, like reaching out to people. And that's pretty much like sending, that's like a job application, you know, like a cover letter.
Yeah.
And I looked up on YouTube, like how to write a cover letter for it, like how to get proposals from it. Or like how to write a proposal, because they call it a proposal, but it's really like a cover letter. And I like used what is it called? Like the template that one dude recommended, and I got like two clients from that. And even like to this day, like I still use that same pattern that he like, or the same kind of like
brand template,
like tips that he offered. Like I still use them, like when I write proposals. And yeah, that's pretty much how I got into it. And I was able to gain a lot of experience, like just doing freelance. And then I also got a client that paid like really good. She was my first client that paid me as much as she did, because she did OnlyFans. And yeah, so like all the guys that thought they were messaging, like I managed accounts for like 3 or 4 different girls. And all the guys that thought they were talking to that girl, they were actually talking to me. So if you have an OnlyFans account, like not you, but like whoever's listening, you're probably not speaking to who you think you're speaking to.
You're like, it was me.
Yeah, you're just talking to a social media manager. But yeah, if there's any OnlyFans girls out there that need a social media manager, or just anybody in general, I'm here. But yeah, that's how I got into it. Word of mouth, pretty much. And also Upwork. Like Upwork has helped me a lot. And there's times that like you have to pay to get connects. And pretty much what that is like, let's say you buy 50 connects, and I just bought like 20 of them, and they were only $3. So it's not even that expensive, you know? But I had someone tell me like, well, why are you paying to get clients? And it's just like, well, I literally got a client from them and I made like $10,000 from them in a year. So why would I, like, I'm paying $3 to make $10,000? Like, that seems pretty okay to me.
Like the logic is.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So like for anybody who's just starting off, for anybody that like wants to make extra income, like whatever kind of thing that you do, whether it's like fixing websites or like copywriting or anything like that, you can probably find some work on Upwork. Yeah.
And out of your like whole social media career, what is one of your like success stories that you're like, I really brought this company up with my social media?
Yeah. So one of them was like, honestly, like one of the last employers that I had, it was for a beauty brand. And they gave us, like the marketing team, which was just me and my marketing manager. They gave us, our marketing director, they gave us $25,000 to spend on ads. And on social media, they were making like $100 a month, or like less, honestly. Definitely less than $200 a month. And with the ads that we were running, $25,000 a month, each month went up to $52,000 a month just from social media. So we definitely, like, that ROI was up there. And like honestly, it's something I'm really proud of. It's the first time that I ever ran ad campaigns, but I was able to manage them very well. And I kept increasing like every month, like sales just kept going up. So yeah, that was very fun. Like it's
You're like, that was
very
me.
cool to be able to see like your work making money,
Yeah.
and then you don't see your paycheck growing, and you're like, you're like, you want
And
me to
like
reach?
the
It's like,
mathing here.
yeah, like it's like they had, you know how they put like donuts in front of people that are like running on a treadmill
Yeah.
so they can catch the donut. I feel like that's how they had me at that job. Like they were all like, oh, if you make this much, you'll get this much of a bonus, and you're just like running, and you're like, when the hell am I gonna get my donut? And I never got my donut, so I left. Yeah, but yeah,
But
that's
I
like
guess
my
the
most
the
successful.
experience though, right? It
Yeah,
helps. Yeah.
like now I can totally like it's really good because now I can tell people like, hey, I was able to do this.
Hmm.
This is what I did. And like if you give me that budget, I can make something happen for you, you know, or like any budget that anybody has can honestly like be worked with. Like you can even do $5 a, a week. And even then that'll just be like awareness, but at least you're bringing like eyes
Hmm.
to your, you know, work. And it might not be good for sales, but I think people fail to realize, and this is just like business in general, like you'd be surprised, they really expect that every single campaign is going to bring you money when it's not the case. Like
Yeah.
every campaign has a different purpose. Like there's a literal funnel, and that like it gets smaller and smaller because the retention is way smaller than, you know, impressions.
Hmm.
But yeah.
That makes sense.
But yeah, that's
Um,
my most successful one to date.
I mean, it's not over yet. You can keep growing and growing.
Yeah,
Eventually, you'll find another success story. Um,
exactly. So I'm like, I'm hoping for that opportunity, but right now I'm good with like the small clients that I have, and you know they're still pretty fun to work with. Like I do wish that I could get another, like if I could be an in-house social media manager like remotely that
mhm.
gets to work with a brand and just sees it grow, that would be amazing. But um that has not been the case for me as of yet, and that's okay.
And that leads me to my next question. So I know you have a daughter, and I'm a father too. So I'm like, sometimes I wonder, like, how do you manage your freelancing career and your responsibilities that like at home? Like, how do you manage that?
Yeah. Honestly, it's hard but easy at the same time. You know how sometimes you have too much flexibility, so it kind of makes it harder to keep yourself disciplined.
Yeah.
That's kind of like how I am. um, because sometimes like I know that I have a lot of work that I need to do, or you know, like I don't have the income that I want coming in, so I know that
Mhm.
I have to sit down and you know, pitching is still working. Like those are still work hours that I'm sitting down looking for clients.
Yeah.
Like I know that I could be doing that, but I rather like sit down and do nothing with my daughter, or like, you know, spend time with her or watch her play. Um, but it's so like my day to day is pretty much in the morning. I wake up, I make her lunch, I make her breakfast, I wake her up, I get her ready, and then I'm home by like 8:30. Um, at that time, I like take a shower, brush my teeth. I should do it in the morning when I wake up, but I don't because I'm just like usually rushing. Um, and then lately, I started doing work for somebody that's in a client that's in Cedar Hill. So I drive to Cedar Hill in the morning sometimes. Um, and we shoot content, we schedule content for the week. Um, and then I would do like, I'm still trying to see. So like right now I'm pitching, like, I'm like, I tell my sister that I'm on a race against myself
Yeah.
because truly the lifestyle that I want to keep is freelancing, but I'm still applying to jobs that are like fully remote, but it's still 8 to 5 type work, you know? So it's not like now that I can just pause all of my work and go have lunch with my daughter and then get back to it once I come back from lunch with my daughter, you know?
Yeah.
So like I either get more clients or I get hooked onto a job. But sometimes it's a little bit hard also because I have depression and anxiety, and I'm going through like a really tough time with my breakup. And just recently, like I had run out of my medication and I got back on it again, and I've been having like terrible migraines, like nausea, like just all the nasty stuff that comes with it. So it's just like learning to manage myself and my daughter and my work. And I think one of my biggest like faults is that I always, like, it's bad to say it, but I always put my daughter first. So it's just like whether it's work or whether it's anything, I'm like, well, I rather be with my daughter and spend time with my daughter than go to work. And like I said, we're really stuck together. So anytime that I go to work or have some work to do, she'll be like, Mommy, I miss you. And I'm just like, no, like, please. At this point, I know that she's like kind of, playing. But I'm really lucky that I actually get to spend that time with her because I live with my dad right now. So I'm not like paying rent or anything super drastic. I'm mostly just like paying for my debt and and like groceries and anything that like my daughter needs. But like it's like day to day it's very hard because I know the things that I have to do. So I'll have to like get up in the morning and do stuff for my daughter, and between those times I have to find time to clean, to do work, and by 2 o'clock I have to be headed to, by 2 o'clock 2:30 I have to head to wherever, like to her school, to pick her up. And sometimes I have a client that's like so I have a client that's pretty consistent. Like we're on contract, but they're like the ones whose schedule I work around because they're the ones that actually need more meetings and stuff like that. So I'll work around their schedule most of the time. And sometimes just things pop up. So like I'll have a meeting at 11 every Tuesday. Sometimes they'll change it, and it's just like, I don't know, there's just like little things that are changing every day. So it's not easy. And I think it's just constantly having to just refocus yourself and say like, okay, well, what's the priority for today? Where do we stand financially? Like, did you pay your credit cards this month? Or like, like right now I'm saving money and also paying off my credit cards. And like a certain amount always has to go to X. But for example, let's say, like, I don't want to put my business too much out there, but sometimes, so she has, obviously there's another parent in the mix, right? He's supposed to take her like 2 days out of the week, almost like a day and a half, because he'll have her Thursdays, and Thursday mornings I drop her off at school. He picks her up from school, and then I pick her up Friday evenings, like at 9. So Thursday and Fridays, like those are the days that I spend cramming, cleaning. Like those are the days that I do everything. And this past week, she didn't have her days with him. And it really backed me up on a lot of my work. Like I wasn't able to do work well. And now I'm like really backed up on work. And that like puts me back financially. And for whatever reason or another, it was just like, it's just messy, but it's like, it's hard, and you just have to find a way to make things work, because right now I'm the full-time parent, and as much as I wish that I could get like a full-time job, or I could just like go to an office. Like I love being in an office. I love dressing up for the office. I love doing that stuff. But like I said, my daughter's my priority, and I don't have the privilege to say like, oh, well, my mom can pick her up or her dad can pick her up, because that's not the case. Like I'm always the default parent. And right now I'm lucky enough to where like shit, I don't have to pay rent. I'm able to be there for my daughter, like because if I had to pay rent, I'd be fucked. Like I would not be able to be there as a mom, and all I would be doing was just like literally working my ass off. So I'm
Yeah.
like really grateful for that I get to, um be here and like be there for her. Because um I would rather her have at least one parent than not have either parent.
Yeah.
Because right now, like, the truth is that, like, she doesn't, like, the other parent isn't as present as they
Mm.
should be. So, yeah, like, she's definitely my priority. And while freelancing, like, really allows me that,
Yeah.
um, it's like sometimes it's not like every month isn't consistent with finances. So it's like constantly like juggling um
Yeah,
money
for sure.
and time, you know?
Yeah, I feel like, in my opinion, freelancing is more difficult than having a 9 to 5, because 9 to 5 you separate work and home. Like it's past
Yeah.
5 o'clock. Like I don't want to talk about work, but with freelancing, it's like you're on like all the time, and then on
Yeah.
top, being a full time mom, like that's impressive. Like that you can handle all of that. I know
Yeah.
it's different when you have like a partner in the mix, because if you're struggling with something, you're like, oh, hey, can you help me with this, or can you help me with that? And,
Yeah.
it's basically just on you. So
Exactly. Yeah. And but yeah, like you said, like sometimes I know you'll see me posting on my stories like working at night and
yeah,
stuff like that. Like for like last week I had to stay up a few nights because like I can't do anything during the day. Like I remember my dad, when we were younger, like he was the one that was working a lot, right?
Mhm.
And what I really valued was my time with him. Like not like I'm obviously like appreciative as fuck like that he worked as hard as he did, but I always wish that like we had spent more time together, that he had time to go to school stuff and everything.
Yeah,
And since I'm like the only parent that is like present for her in that way, I don't want to fail her. So like I rather struggle a little bit financially or like make my money stretch rather than like lose time with her because she's going to be little for not so long. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Um so I only have a few years of her wanting to be with me all the time.
No, and I get what you are trying to say, because time, you'll never get the time back. Like from then growing up
Yeah.
right now, like my son's already 2 years old, and I'm like, where did the time go? Like you were just a
Yeah.
baby like yesterday. So
Oh,
I understand that feeling.
yeah, for sure. But yep, that's how I balance it. I don't.
I mean, I feel like you just gotta keep pushing yourself, right? Like
Yeah,
keep that
exactly.
positive outlook on life.
Yeah, for sure. Like you can't like I used to be a big like woe is me person and like I guess I got fed up and I'm just like, dude, like what are you complaining about? Just get over it type of thing. But like I don't know, it's just like I had someone tell me because I was like I just feel like a rock sometimes, like especially like when depression hits and stuff. I think it's okay to like let yourself be sad for a day or two, like if you need to, you need that time and space. But he was like, well, yeah, rock is heavy, but once you push it and it builds momentum, like it just keeps going,
Yeah,
and it'll like tear anything down unless it's like stopped, like by something even heavier than itself. Um, so I like really thought about that and I was like, the only thing holding me back is myself. Like I'm the one that allows myself to stay in bed all day. I'm the one that, like has control over what I do. I can't control what everybody else does, but I can control what I do.
yeah.
So yeah.
I mean, I was just gonna ask like, what's some advice that you can give, but you just
Oh
gave it on your own.
yeah.
Just
And I
keep
mean, it's
pushing
hard. Like
yourself.
I'm not even like this weekend because sometimes it's like everything's going good you know, and I don't know like what you've been through in life or anything like that, but
Mhm.
um like sometimes I'm okay and then like out of nowhere it hits like
Yeah.
everything that happened or like everything that you did wrong or like you're literally just driving and then out of nowhere like just it just hits like if you know like you know like
Yeah.
it just hits and like te pega la depresión and you're just like fuck like
Yeah, I get you. I feel
so,
like
you know
it's always there, but like since you suppress it and you have other things going on, like once you hit
yeah
that like quiet moment, you're like, it's still there, and I just hear it
yeah
louder. You know?
yeah absolutely for sure because like I think so one thing that like my medication has like really helped me with was with like the overthinking because I used to not like be able to sleep like I can't like literally it would snowball into just any and everything like the most ridiculous things just going in through my head um and like it stopped and it's so weird because it's like I used to say like okay well what if this well what if this and then this and
Yeah,
then that and then this and now it's just like I can think of something and that's it like the thought doesn't develop and snowball into something and it's crazy because it's just like what the like people can do
yeah,
this like people can not overthink like what is this um so I think one of like I think it's something that our generation like suffers with a lot too. I think it has a lot to do with self-awareness and just like you know reality but at the same time you still want certain things to be true even if they can't be. I don't know, like anyway my point is like our generation like really suffers a lot with like depression and anxiety and I think it's like good to say that sometimes like you really are chemically imbalanced. It's like telling a person with diabetes, no, keep eating sugar, like it's fine, like it's just
yeah,
like don't think about it and you won't feel anything. Like no, that's not how it works. Like there's a chemical imbalance in
yeah,
brains, you know, like you need that like medication to you know build that like to help that chemical imbalance to help balance it out and
yes.
there's like nothing wrong with it um because I used to think that it was just like oh I'm just like emo or something like mom it's just a phase
I,
or I don't
I feel
know
like it's just the way that we were raised because I feel like nobody ever talks about their feelings or
yeah
depression for that matter. Like what they're just like
yeah
ponte las pilas and and
yes
that's
but
it.
yeah but even then like I feel like depression gets used a lot like oh I'm depressed or I'm this or I'm that so it kind of
Yeah,
devalues it when something is actually wrong with
real.
someone um and like me I would find it hard to like find other people like me because we don't really like talk about it you know what I mean um but then literally like last week um two things happened so like one of them was a girl that I know that she's like super pretty she's like I don't know. She's just like somebody that I look up to. She's been through a lot, like, and she still manages to like show up every day, at least on social media. And what you call it? I mean, sometimes she shows like her weaknesses, but you know, like she's just somebody that I like look up to. Um, and she was like, she literally posted a thread, and she's like, when you think you're okay without your medication or when you stop taking medication and then like in little quotes it starts having multiple meltdowns and remembers why they started taking medication in the first place and then proceed to take medication for the rest of your life like it's just like dude like I literally just went through that and it's like I don't know I guess that's one of the reasons like I'm okay with sharing this kind of stuff because you just never know who's actually going through something and like what is actually going to relate to you because when she wrote that like it genuinely like related to me I was like what like I that's exactly what I felt you know like that's like I just went through that and there's like experiences that people share all the time that you like it comes from the most unexpected people sometimes like you're like what like you thought that like it's not it's not just me type of thing.
Yeah.
And then there's sometimes that you meet people that like it's just like, dude. No
Yeah,
sé.
it's hard to tell. Sometimes it's the people that you see the happiest, like they're the ones who are going through
Yeah,
something
for sure.
weird.
It's crazy.
But I guess thank you for sharing about everything, Daisy. I know
Yeah.
social media is no easy job. Like I know when I started the podcast, I'm like I did not
Oh,
know like how much work this took,
yeah,
and
it's a lot. And even
it's
then,
been
like, you're still teaching me some stuff because I shot something with my sister and my friend the other day, and I have not edited anything at all. Like, I've done nothing. Like, we just did the video and that was it. Like,
yeah.
like I've done nothing else for it. I'll probably like upload it to YouTube or something, but it's like time consuming. So like, I
Yeah,
really give you props on that because like you've stayed consistent, like as far as I've noticed, and like every podcast that I've heard, like it honestly is getting better and better each time. Like you seem to be getting like more confident in like the whole process and everything.
yeah.
So that's pretty lit.
Yeah, and, I've been what's it called? Like over each episode, we're like cutting out things here, cutting out things there,
Yeah.
making it more professional, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But it's been not like a roller coaster, I guess, because
Yeah, it's impressive.
that's why I record on Friday nights, just
Mhm.
because I only have Saturdays to edit. So because Sunday I
Oh,
wanted to be my day off, you know, because
see. Yeah, no, yeah, and that like it's like what you said earlier. Like you really have to like it's hard to juggle it like you as a parent because sometimes even if you have a partner like y'all are both still on different schedules. So it's
yeah,
like having to align everything like it's hard. So and you have another baby coming on the way. My
I
goodness,
know.
I'm gonna have to do a like swap interview or someone or Tony or Billy are gonna have to do an interview to you. Be like, how do you do it?
Yeah, I mean, if
Because
you ever start your podcast, I'll be glad to be your guest.
yeah, for sure. I'm definitely like open to the idea, but like you said, it's so many
Yeah,
like when you involve a lot of people, like that's a lot of schedules that you have to align with and stuff like that. And not everyone is as open to sharing as like others. So
yeah,
it's like you really have to maneuver and play with that.
yeah. I've done with that too. I have a team of four right now, so who include me and
Yeah.
getting together. like, can you meet? No, I'm like, oh my god. I'm like, at least two people. Like, that's all it takes, two people.
Yeah. But you'd be surprised. There's a girl that she does podcasts and it's just her. She she does it's called like Let's Heal Sis or something like that.
Hmm.
And she just talks and I was just like, you know what, like should I just make a podcast of me just like talking, like I don't know, because at the end of the day, like that's all it is, like just talking.
Yeah, I think it would work for you. I think you're interesting. I have a group because I feed off of them. You know, like
Yeah, no,
they'll
but it's
insult me
useful
or
because you like
something.
you
And
bounce stuff off of each
yeah,
other. Yeah, but yeah, that's why I want a group. My sister said she's down and she's been like the most consistent one so far, so it might just end up being something of me and my sister, and then I have my friends on like just for like every now and then, whenever
yeah,
they feel like they like the topic or not.
yeah. You should. Your sister is also interesting. Like
She's alright.
from our calls, I'm like, like I know you would keep a good podcast episode going.
Yeah, we talk a lot of crap, but I'm trying to be a
But
good Christian, so I can't talk crap anymore. I can talk about me, but
but yeah,
yeah,
thank you, Daisy, for today's episode. I don't want to keep you up any longer, and
of course.
thanks for the listeners. This will be like the first kind of video with me in it and
Oh
the guest.
yeah, and somebody else.
So
Well, that's not Thalia, right?
yeah,
She looks so cute in the last one. I was
right.
like, oh yeah.
But yeah, thank you guys for listening, and see you next Bruce series episode.
All right, bye everyone.
Bye.